Yes, hello guys, and welcome to another video again. Just trying to adjust my camera. It's a little bit difficult, but anyways, I want to be talking to you about guys how to get the best deals for your client. So to get the best deal for your clients, we're going to look at what's the situation and how you can do that. So before doing that, you have to understand. Let's go into it immediately. Understand the value of a player, salary, negotiation, bonus, and incentive, the importance of a contract and the release clauses, image rights, sponsorship deals, how agents and lawyers work. Those are the common things that you have to just bear with me to understand or to know the value of your player. Just a moment. This is quite. I'm using my phone, but I have to give you these guys a little bit of information before I go. So, anyways, understanding the player's value before negotiating. So you have to first research the market value of the player, and then also you try to negotiate. You try to negotiate. For example, if you are selling a 20 million player, you have to be able to negotiate the value of the player always, so that you know that this player is worth this. So try to research the market value and also know the value of the player. The next thing we will have to talk about is the salary negotiation, how salary. So before talking or getting into contract negotiation with the player, you have to know what the other salaries of the other players in that, let's say, in that very division that your player wants to go. It's and let's take for example, if your player is a right back and then you're negotiating a contract for a player, you have to know which is maybe playing in that same league. You have to know the value, so that you can negotiate the salary of your player so that it's not too low, or maybe it can be a little bit beneficial to the player. I hope people understand what I'm saying. So first, anyways, you have to understand the value of the player so that you can get the right salary for the player. Let me put it that way. Bonuses and incentives that can increase income. So let's take for example, if you know your player is that good, then you can always put in bonuses that if he makes 36 appearances for a league, then can it trigger this bonus? 36 appearances, maybe it's like playing the whole games throughout the entire campaign. Performance bonuses, those are also very well also within the reach. And then you can talk of trophies. Trophies can also be an extra or loyalty bonuses. These are all things that you can always look into it. Contract length and release clauses. So you always have to know what's the contract, how the contract benefits the age of your player. Let's take for example, if your player is almost like 28 years, most it's always advisable you take the 5 years contract if you know you like that club, because you if you take a 2 years contract, it's going to turn 30, and most clubs always try to give like one year after 30. So but if you take 28 if you take 5 years during this period, you might get up to 33 before your contract runs down. This is just advantageous for the players also, but most clubs are also very smart not to always do that deal. So they try to look at things differently. And also you have to look at also at image rights. Image rights are very important in this situation. So always try to, if you're playing at elite level, you have to know your image right, so that when you start negotiating your sponsorship deals with brands like Adidas or Nike or whatsoever brand you might have, it might also help you. So the role of an agent in this is very, very crucial. So that's why I say most of you guys, you need an agent who understand all these things. Yeah, drop me a message if you want, so if you want me to explain more of this kind of stuff to you. And also uh you can shoot me a DM. Yes, for example, if you are looking for someone to help you in this situation as a player. So but let's look at the common contract mistakes, and on how to avoid them. So not reading the fine not reading a lot of details when you start negotiating your contract is a big problem. So let's talk, for example, if you go into a contract situation and you don't even read, you just say, oh, you are in a haste to sign, you are going to come out very in a lost case, because most of the things in the contract you have to read them before you put any pen to paper, because they are always also a little bit like hidden. There are also people, clubs who bring contracts and they write things that they hope these players don't read or this player don't understand, so that when you sign it, they come and say this means this, and you cannot do anything. That's why it's always good to check out with an agent. And then the next thing we'll have to say, low release clause, for you to when low release clause makes it too easy for clubs to take the player, of course. So when you're looking at people trying to put your release clause or high release clause, also your release clause should be balanced. It shouldn't be something that if a player want to, if a club wants to move, wants to come and buy you so that you go in for maybe a better, go in for a better team, you cannot go because your release clause was so high. So you also have to look into all those things. No performance bonuses also, those are also things that you can look into, trying to always negotiate with club that if you're playing well, you need to have these kind of things. The last one of the two last ones, image rights, as we spoke earlier. Always look at your image rights because it's very important, because those are the things that can give you extra income. This was just a short thing for me, just trying to explain to you how you can, the little things you can know when you want to negotiate a contract. So if we do a rundown for the things, it's like understand the first things are understanding a player's value before negotiating. So you have to, that's one. Number two, salary negotiation, how to maximize the earnings. Yeah, you can always think of that. The bonus and incentives that can increase income. So you have to think of also those things. Bonuses like signing on bonus, performance bonuses, appearance bonuses, trophies bonuses, and loyalty bonuses. Then also the next, you have to also look at contract length and release clauses. So some of you guys can read into the contract length and release clauses. So those are also very important. I'll give an example of a release clause that happened with one of the big players. In 2017, Neymar was about to move to Barcelona, but because Barcelona's release clause that they put on Neymar was just 22 million euros, and Paris Saint-Germain paid that money for Neymar to come to Paris, which means Paris escaped going to the table to negotiate with Barcelona. They just went and paid the Neymar's release clause. Barcelona tried every way to stop that transfer, but it was already too late for them because they never thought someone is going to pay 220 euros. After the Neymar's transfer, it made a lot of clubs change because they started to say, okay, we're going to put a release clause for about about 1 billion euros for players. Those kind of release clauses that don't exist. So I think teams in Spain, I remember Marca Asensio's, is it Marca Asensio, yeah, release clause was very huge. Those kind of things like that, they kind to just to stop uh, that situation that happened with Neymar. So actually, it's a transfer that changed a lot of clubs' mentality. Anyways, that was what I had for you guys. So for this little bit of live video, so I'll be going back. I'll be going to live in the night, but this was just to let you guys know. And take care and enjoy your day. See you. Bye.